And today, okay, actually, sorry. I decided to try wearing headphones for this. The headphones for this one. To try to help the audio quality, but no, that is very awkward. But as I was saying, thank you all. All for tuning in. Today, we have another episode of Trainer Reacts, a series where I, a licensed personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, corrective exercise specialist, and nutritionist, react to the training advice of famous athletes, fighters, martial artists, general, those kinds of people. And today, we actually are doing this in the style of a standard reaction video because we actually have a video of the guy we're covering today talking about his training advice for people. Today we are covering the legendary Don Frye. And Don Frye is one of, if not the greatest MMA fighter to ever live. And if you don't know who he is real quick, here, before we actually cover the training, I'll actually give you guys a brief introduction to who he is. Because, it's one thing to say, oh, we're talking Jack Dempsey, the greatest boxer ever, and giving his fight and giving his title of heavyweight champion of the champion boxer of the 1920s. Or with Masoyama, saying he's the founder of Kyokushin Karate. It is another thing entirely to specify who Don Frye is. So, this is the perfect fight to demonstrate who Don Frye is. His most iconic one ever. If I remember correctly, the viewership of this fight actually surpassed the World Cup the day it was happening. So, this was his fight. Yoshihiro Takayama, a Japanese pro wrestler. If you don't realize, Don Frye is the one in the American shorts, in the American flag shorts. Just look at that mustache. You could probably block face punches with that mustache. Okay, the stare down. All right, here it is. This is it. Just punching each other in the face. No defense for just a minute straight. When I usually say what my favorite fight is of all time, usually I'll say Jack Dempsey versus Jess Willard. Although recently I've been saying, Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. That was a really good fight. But this goes beyond ranking. This is like a movie fight scene. But not like a John Wick type movie. We're talking... This is a fight scene from a really poorly made B movie. And it makes it even better. And fight stops. Okay. Now, with that being said, that gives you a good idea of who Don Frye is. So, let's actually get to the training for this, because quite frankly, that took a little bit longer than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to take so long actually looking for the video. Okay. Now this, if I'm if I'm remembering correctly, this is an old training tape. Yeah, that got edited into a YouTube format. Okay, this is the copyright disclaimer. Right. Okay. And okay. Okay, none of that stuff's actually important. It's basically just saying that I can't repurpose this stuff and sell it. Okay, note, consult your physician before beginning this or any type of exercise program. Now, you see, generally I'm not the biggest fan of this message just because it feels like people might take it to the extreme of, okay, well, walking is considered an exercise, so I should probably talk to my doctor before I start taking daily before I should, start going for a walk once every day or so. I mean, unless you have actual have genuine health concerns or problems, light exercise is generally fine. It's a genuine exercise program that you should consult your doctor for. Like if you decide you're going to start doing doing calisthenics or lifting weights, or even say taking up a sport or a martial art, you should consult your doctor for, probably. I mean, I didn't, but at the same time, I was 10. Admittedly, that maybe it would have been a good idea to anyway, with all the health problems I've had. So, it's a good message, but don't take it to the extreme, is all I'm saying. All right. Okay, that's one heck of an intro to your training tape. But this is actually a good point to mention. Don Frye's two main martial arts were boxing and judo. I think wrestling too. Actually, I think he might have been boxing and wrestling, but then he got a black belt in judo. But okay, my memory of his entire training history is a bit off. But okay, sorry for that. Okay, well, I think now we get into the actual stuff that we came to. Yeah, he was a UFC champion. And that was back in the days where it wasn't just okay, you do one fight in a night and then you work up your way in the ranks. It was multiple fights in a night. Okay, this tape's kind of dragging.
Hi, welcome to the Predator Conditioning video. We developed these workout routines over the last several fights. It wasn't just something that I developed, my teammates developed. As always, you have to have a good, strong team in order to become a champion. It's not something that's done just by myself. A lot of my training is solo training, like the running, the bag work, what have you. But a lot of it relies on my training partners. I have 4 great training partners that work hard constantly for me. They dedicate a lot of their time and they support me all the time with this event. What I do when I'm at home.
Okay, before going on, him saying it's essential to have training partners in order to get good progress. I would more or less agree with that, especially as a martial artist. Primarily you're going to want training partners. If partners. Most people say sparring is mandatory if you want to have good progress, and even if you don't agree with that, like I'm not the biggest proponent of that philosophy either. It is another thing entirely to say that you wouldn't. That's not a good idea to do, say, two-person drills. Have an actual person to practice, say, your throwing or takedowns, and of course, he was a wrestler, so you need a person to wrestle with because solo drills will only get you so far with wrestling. So, and then there are just some things that are good to have a partner for. Like, I hate running unless I have a person to help me keep pace, which is why I preferred using a treadmill so much, because it's automatically keeping your pace for you, making it easier. Which is one of the reasons why people pretend like running on a treadmill doesn't isn't as bad as running normally. And to and then I just say, no, it's definitely on the same thing. It's just the difference of having a pacer when you're running and not. So yeah, training partners, I say say if you can have training partners, get them.
Home, I get up in the morning and I'll run 2, 3, 4 miles, whatever it takes.
Okay, unsure what he means by whatever it takes.
Then go back to bed. I'll get up later and I'll eat something and I'll go work out. What I do in my morning workout is lifting weights. I'll lift weights for probably about an hour and a half. I warm up by jumping.
Okay. He specified that he lifts weights for about an hour and a half, but didn't specify any of the details on that. Not sure what he means there. Okay, we'll probably speculate on that later, if he doesn't say anything.
Rope. Again, I go home, I eat something. I'll probably take another nap. I get up, I hit the heavy bag. I hit the heavy bag probably for about an hour, hour and a half. Again, I get something to eat. And then I go to sleep again. And then I get up and I travel an hour and a half to go to my workout facility. That's where my 4 partners come into play. We work out probably for about anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours to 2.5 hours. I'm hop back.
Yeah, I believe 2.5 hours is about the standard time of for your typical martial arts class too. Yeah, too. So that sounds about standard. For reference, with with the classes I take, they're about 2 hours. Each time. They were 1.5, but we went up to 2 hours not too long ago. So, saying he works with his partners for for anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. Yeah, it sounds about standard for what would be a typical martial arts class, to be honest. Though I imagine imagine a higher intensity.
In the truck, I go home. I get home at midnight. This is something that you have to adapt to your style. Like I said, sometimes we work out for an hour. Sometimes we work out for 2.5 hours. It all depends on how the workout's going and how I'm feeling. You have to listen to your body. Sometimes you get up and you say, I'm just too tired. Hey, take the day off. Nobody's going to sue you for it. It's something you have to listen to your body. You have to be aware. Sometimes you got to take a day off because you have to recuperate, not only physically, but mentally. This stuff will wear on you after a while. If you train hard all the time, you become strong mentally, but it does tear at the body. Also, what you're going to do is you're going to build your conditioning. The conditioning is
okay. Switching points, so I'll just comment on what he was just saying. Now he's talking about taking a day off, as in he trains every day, but if he feels he needs to take a day off, then he'll take one. And this makes sense. I mean, I do the same thing, even though I don't train every day. Like the other day, last week at the gym, I hurt my back, so I didn't take, or at least I was having some bad back pain that day, so I stopped training. So that's more or less what he's getting at. So yeah, do that. All right, now